Considering global warming is going to like supposedly kick us all in the ding-ding, I'll take another 6 weeks of winter. It could be very handy before I am laying on the floor like a fish trying to gasp for oxygen. I don't know what happened to my wife, ladies and gentlemen, but it's time for us to go live. Therefore, hello, everyone. It is I, your future Dark Overlord, the walking cadaver, who looks particularly more cadaver-esque with a very pitch black set of headphones on my big bald dome. Because that makes me, if there's anything to make me look more pasty, it's that right there. Oh, hello, darling.
I'm so sorry, I got a nosebleed. I got a nosebleed when the show started. It's fine now.
You got the Kimbrough headphones for me? Yeah. The stress of doing a SIGLERinPLACE, baby, it got to you.
I know. I was like, oh.
Baby,
it's just a little one.
Say hello to the peoples while I get your camera dialed in here, okay?
Sure, no problem. So, you guys, I'll tell you the crazy story. I was going to tell you last week. I was going to make a whole cake and do a whole thing and show you because when I was in high school...
Wait, I think we had to wait for that. Hold tight. Hold tight one sec.
So
I don't know why.
Then I'll just say this as he's fixing the color and whatnot, you guys.
There we go. Look how gorgeous you look
both
now.
Richards. Hi, Mike. But yeah, I'll tell you that story in a minute. But I got a nosebleed right when the show started, so I had to jump up and get a tissue.
Are you wrestling? Are you cutting weight for wrestling? Because I used to get nosebleeds all the time, dog. I'd just be sitting there watching TV with my boys. All of a sudden, just that happens when you.
I think I'm cutting weight for wrestling.
That happens when you cut like 20% of your body weight, and you already weighed 135 pounds to start with. Hello, Shelby.
One, I'm not sure I've ever weighed 135 pounds, and two, I'm not sure I've ever lost 20% of my body weight. So
back to here.
Go.
Let me get my let's get my gorgeous wife dialed in. Let's go.
That's your
I don't
second
know what
drink
the
over
hell,
here.
man. Yeah, it's coming. Hold tight. I got to figure out what the heck happened. You do a restart. Ladies and gentlemen, seriously, we have a grade A Academy Award winning show lined up for you. Just chill your goddamn jets for 2 seconds, will you? Now that makes no sense whatsoever. I don't know what's going on there.
Redo the lipstick now that I fixed my nosebleed.
Advance.
Wow.
Okay, so most of our audio and video is taking a crap on us today. So we
That's
got
okay.
that going for us.
If they can hear us and there's no echo, we should just go on.
There we are. Look at that. Beautiful. Goodness gracious.
We miss you
guys.
guys.
Got to find a way to put a little color in things so I'm not quite as pasty.
Speaking of,
pasty. Yeah.
You look fantastic.
Thank you, baby.
I'm supposed to give you affirmations before the show starts, but I was late because I had a nosebleed. So I'll just say you look.
Here's what we got coming up in this episode. We'll talk about Fanaka's voice button. That, of course, is a character from the Stone Wolves. If you've not listened to it yet or bought it as an ebook, you are a sinner. And you will be stoned with stones until you are dead. We have junky pictures and pup dates. We have a GFL 7 update. It's just a word count update. Don't get crazy. Shoot, I didn't prepare this week in Siglerism, but hopefully we'll get to that. And then we've got some junky questions. And this week, we are celebrating Groundhog Day.
Okay.
Before we get to your story, though, I don't think I put your story in here. Hold on.
That's okay. I can wait it. I can just tell you.
You know what? Let's go. Hit it. Hold on. Let me switch your camera. Ladies and gentlemen, ARealGirl herself's groundhog story.
So when I was in high school, I had a friend. I had a very small group of friends, like almost all of you do. You have like I'm friends with the jocks. I'm friends with the goths. I'm friends with whatever. But then you have actual friends, right? My friend group was about 11 people big. And in that friend group, there was a beautiful human being. His name was Dan Metrick. Back in high school, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have called him a beautiful human being because I was also filled with angst and all the things. But today, I will tell you this very day, he is an MD and a lawyer. Mm-hmm. And takes on medically complex things the last time I checked, but I haven't checked in a while. He is a wildly successful human being. He's married. He has a beautiful family. He's got kids.
Okay.
When we were in high school, he insisted on bringing a Groundhog's Day cake on Groundhog's Day. And it was whatever type of cake it was, which I'm pretty sure it was always yellow cake, but I'm not sure if it was always yellow cake. I do know it was always frosted in chocolate, and it always had an icing, frosting, pipetted outline of a groundhog. Which actually now that I think about it, looks a lot more like a meerkat, if you've ever seen a meerkat at the zoo. And then he would bring in, back in the day, in the 80s, you would go to a Mexican restaurant. If it was your birthday, they would put a sombrero on your head that had like dangly pom-poms, and it was like this big and whatever. And he had one of those, and he would bring it. And if you wanted to have the Groundhog's Day cake, you had to do the Groundhog's Day ritual, which was he would throw the sombrero on the ground and we would sort of dance the hoopah, like we would dance around it like you might do at a Russian or Jewish wedding, maybe, I don't know. And you could say anything you wanted or nothing at all.
Wait, in this, so he had you dancing around a sombrero or a hat.
Mm-hmm. A giant ass sombrero.
Did he tell you, like, I don't know if you said it or I was on the chat room with that thing you told me, like, what, you don't know this?
Oh, yeah. This is the thing. The whole time he was like, how do you not know? How do you not know? This is what you do for Groundhog's Day. This is what you do. And we'd be like, dude, it's like a rat in Pennsylvania. What are you And then we would all dance around the goddamn sombrero.
Did his sincerity lead you to believe that you had missed something culturally all over the years?
Dan Metric, who I don't know today, and I'm sad about it. But I'm sure Dan Metric today is just as cool as he was then. But absolutely, we were not that cool back then. And now, I bet he's a lot like your favorite Vince Vaughn movies, where he always has the straight face, and he'll always do the thing. But it's ludicrous. It's always ludicrous. So for at least 2 years, I danced around a sombrero so I could have chocolate cake on Groundhog's Day.
I love it.
Not because I thought that was a thing that people did, but because he would not put it down. He just believed so much that what you needed to do was have this experience. And here I am literally 30 years later, and I can't stop talking about it.
I can tell you, guys, I don't know if my buddies are in the chat room tonight, my high school buddies, but I can tell you for the voice of experience that if you want to be annoying to someone and try to get them to do a thing which is clearly BS, but you are being utterly sincere, it is, what was the word you just used? He wouldn't quit with it, or he wouldn't let it. You couldn't have cake unless you did what?
Unless we believed.
Yeah.
Genuinely just like
I forgot exactly what
he
said. I forgot what she said. But if you're trying to be annoying to people, sticking with your story, even when everybody knows your story is BS, if you stick with your story long enough and you have consistency and verve and delivery, eventually people will be like, I don't believe a goddamn thing Scott is saying. 15 minutes later, I don't believe a goddamn thing Scott is saying. 15 minutes later, oh man, is this something I've never heard of before? Maybe Scott has some knowledge I don't have.
And 5 minutes after that,
and once they
how
think
do
that,
I get cake?
Yep. Once they think that, you got them. So that is a lot of life experience.
I will say, Dan Baker, you get all the points
Dan Baker,
for drinking Suntory on Groundhog's Day.
Dan Baker has been a victim many a day to me sticking with my story, just rolling with it. All right.
Hey, Jenny, nice to see you.
Baby, tell them what's up.
All right, so we got you guys this coming Saturday. Hey, Patrick Heffernan, I see you out there too.
Patrick Heffernan, what's up?
This coming Saturday, like 3 days from now, is Sigler Junkie Happy Hour. And Sigler Junkie Happy Hour happens on the first Saturday of every month from 4 p.m. Pacific time to 11 p.m. Pacific time. It's an enormous commitment. And I got to tell you what, it's not us who does it. Your good pal, Steve Rickeberg, my good pal, Steve Rickeberg, does this he hosts the entire night so that you can come and go as you please. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely going to be there a little bit. Scott probably is not going to be there because Saturdays are music days for him and they're kind of scheduled. But I'll be there on Saturday in the evening. You guys should check it out if you haven't checked it out. What are you doing in the third year of the pandemic?
Yeah,
just come on and try.
Third year, for Christ's sakes. All right, we have to drop out a little bit here.
Drop out?
Drop out. Apparently, I'm suddenly Canadian. From Patrick Heffernan in the chat room. When Chekhov saw the long winter, he saw a winter bleak and dark and bereft of hope. Yet we know that winter is just another step in the cycle of life. But standing here among the people of Puxatawny and basking in the warmth of their hearths and hearts, I couldn't imagine a better fate than a long and lustrous winter. Which, of course, brings to mind a certain someone who has an affinity for Puxatawny. A great affinity for Puxatawny. Thank you, Patrick Heffernan, for that Bible reading. I love that very much. All right, now, you guys. Okay, we don't have a tweet of the week this week, but we have something so special, so subtle.
You guys are not ready. You're not ready.
Fantastic that me and my gingham shirt can tell you all to kiss my ass.
Gingham.
What'd I say?
Gingham.
What'd I say?
Gingham.
Gingham style.
No, gingham. Gingham.
Okay, gingham style.
Also,
kiss my black butt. Yeah, God, what's up?
We were not ready for this either.
Okay.
So what I can promise is you're not ready.
You gotta lean all the way to the edge of the screen. No, come back so you're on camera, though.
Oh.
There you go. Just take up. Ladies and gentlemen, it turns out I was named Student of the Week this week for my work in the 7th grade. And I thought this was long delayed.
Long overdue.
Proper praise.
How dare they?
Proper celebration of my brilliance. That should have happened many, many years ago. But it turns out, yes, dear.
I mean, was it you?
Turns out there is another Scott Sigler, and he is fantastic. Oops, hold on, wrong one. What this? Dang, I screwed it up. Hold on.
He's got it. Here we go. 3rd time's a charm.
Hold on, I'm getting there.
I will tell you there's... There is, technically speaking, we already know. If you guys don't know this, if you're new to the Siglerverse or just don't have vanity searches on Scott Sigler's name, both of which are fine, I will also tell you that there is
here we go.
A urologist, is it? Or proctologist?
Oh my God, let's not confuse him with this young man.
All right.
Thank you very much. You know what? That's like my wife always bringing up random proctologists all the time.
Urologist. I'm pretty sure he's a urologist.
Was there a difference? They're both things that come out, whatever. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I found this young man.
Hey, look at him.
Scott Sigler. Mr. Scott Sigler Esquire of Durham Middle School was named Student of the Week. And in his Student of the Week picture, being the baller that he is, the studious, football-loving baller that he is, he wore his Chiefs jersey,
which you can see on the right
game
in this photo. You can see like sort of right next to me in that photo.
Getting ready for the AFC Championship game, during which the Chiefs largely happened to swallow a semi-cooked piece of chicken at halftime and had difficulty processing this through their esophageal passage. And anyways, the Chiefs lost, but Scott Sigler won big. So Mr. Scott Sigler, who is a football fan and a student and a reader, also about as skinny as a birch tree in winter, like another Scott Sigler that we know.
Which makes me feel like he's a real Scott Sigler.
I'm not sure. I had a chance to email with his mom today. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not the father. This is not the case. But this young man, we sent him a copy of The Rookie, which was presented to him by the principal today, and they were kind enough to send us pictures.
Yeah, so this is him receiving, actually, I think this was yesterday.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so yesterday, during morning announcements, so if you are an American and watching the show, you were probably had the same middle school experience this Scott Sigler is having, where, you know, once for 10 minutes in the morning, there are morning announcements. And this day, yesterday, this Scott Sigler had to come to the office for reasons unknown, even though last week he was the Student of the Week.
Yeah.
And so he did, because he's a good human being.
I would like to think he thought he was in trouble a little bit, like he got that sinking feeling.
Will
A. Kovacs please come to the office? The principal would like to. Can you just feel your heart sinking right now? Let's throw in a random name.
Is my mama in here in the chat room?
Will
Chris
Grawl please come to the office? Chris Grawl please come to the office. Principal Badassery would like to talk to you. Good. All right, well, go ahead, baby. Tell me what's up.
I think I saw Tori say that my mama's in the chat room. So if you're out there, Mama Zippy, I love you. But what I'll say is this. So we reach out to his school. Well, Scott reaches out to his school. And the principal emails back and says, sure, this would be wonderful. Thank you so much for recognizing our Student of the Week, which is beautiful. And then we say, can we send him a book? And they say yes. And then they invite his parents. He has no idea. This beautiful young kid has no idea, and he has to just show up the next day, and he shows up at the office and his parents are there.
Oh, it's even better. Better. I hope his lungs and his heart sank all the way down to his kidneys. That is what I hope.
But I will say this, like Scott said, he communicated with by email with Scott Sigler's mom, the one you see on the screen, Scott Sigler's mom. And she was so lovely and so gracious. And so I actually think is when this Scott Sigler showed up at the office, his folks were like, so it was okay.
So this has to be pretty cool.
I thought
I will tell you, this is the thing that never happened to me, never in my life. And I was Student of the Week every week. Let's be honest. Dr. Daniel Baker, PhD, will vouch for this. I was always Student of the Week. Tracy Shank says, he'll grow up to be a small-town pizza lawyer. I was always student of the week every week. I was 32-0, undefeated, and never got called to the principal's office, not one time because I got in trouble. Although I did get called in my dad's office one time because I got in trouble. That's a whole separate story.
I got called to the principal's office once.
But how fun must it be? You're in the 7th grade, you love the football, you're clearly a student, and then you get a book by an author you've never heard of who happens to have the same name as you.
So you're like,
That's
I
super
don't
fun.
know him, but I know him.
Yes. Yes.
So here's the thing. What we did, I will tell you, this
Kim
whole thing
on
was
drinking scotch.
gorgeous.
Yep.
Scott's family reached out to us after the fact and wanted to make sure that Scott Sigler had all the books in his collection. We've also,
What's up, Sherry?
obviously, we've given that book to Scott for that presentation, and we're also sending books to the library as well as to the gentleman. So
Yep.
we got that going for us. Which
So
is
we've
nice.
donated we've donated a full set of books to the library. We gave the rookie to that young man, and then his mom emailed, so where can I buy the rest? And I'm a goddamn capitalist, ladies and gentlemen. So I sent her the links for the next 4 books in the series.
Already
So
purchased.
we just meant to do this fun, nice thing. Wound up selling 4 books. Boom, 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 boom. What's up with that? That's how the game
Tracy,
works,
you're
dog.
totally
Game
right.
recognizes game.
It's just
Shannon,
so
bye.
fun.
Sorry, missed you.
Oh, bye, y'all. Bye, Shannon.
Okay, so let's get on with our business. That was our tweet of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, this story smack. You guys are not ready for the story smack. This story smack will be coming up this coming Saturday, I believe, right, sweetheart? Is that right, or in 2 Saturdays?
No, it's
from
2
now?
Saturdays.
2 Saturdays from now.
This coming Saturday is happy hour. The next Saturday
That's
is
first
Story
Saturday.
Smack. Yeah.
2 Saturdays from now, one of the best movies of all time. We're going to be reviewing. We're not reviewing. We kind of we dive into the lore and the history and the production and the actors and the producers and all the stories behind the movie. This story happens to be Spinal Tap. We're doing this because Studio 666 is coming out in a few weeks. That stars Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters in a haunted, demon-possessed studio type thing. So we thought it'd be super fun to do Spinal Tap. Of course, we have the master of movies, and that is Rob Otto. Professor Emeritus, Professor Emeritus at wherever Dr. Daniel Baker is an actual professor. Rob is a professor emeritus at that same facility. Did you know
I don't even think Professor Emeritus is a thing.
Professor Mumbler. Anyways, it's going to be a good time. We would like you guys to join us. It'll be super duper fun. And what a freaking awesome, amazing, wonderful, enduring movie. Now we're getting to the good stuff. Here we go.
Let's wait for the good stuff.
Let's wait for the good stuff.
Let's
Ladies and
get to
gentlemen.
the good stuff.
That you would clean.
Shh. Shut your pie hole, everybody. Now we're going to talk about, and this will be a recurring theme until we run out of characters in the Stone Wolves, because this is live TV and we need stuff to talk about. What we're talking about right now is who was the inspiration for the character Fanaka, for my voice actor personalization. Is that right? My character Fanaka is based on whom?
So we have had 1,000 guesses, and you're welcome to put the guesses in the chat right now, but it's over. The guessing is over. We're not going to look at those and talk about it unless one of you gets it right. But here's the thing. We've talked about this a lot. Steve, Ricky Berg, and Scott and I talk a lot about how Scott works as a narrator. And one of the things that Scott does as a narrator, this Scott Sigler, I'm never gonna be bored of saying that. This Scott Sigler.
Sean, that's wrong, but good guess.
What he does is find an iconic to him, or iconic, either way, character, role, human, comedian especially. You guys have heard William Shatner, you've heard Chris Rock, you've heard Eddie Murphy, you've heard these characters. But what he actually does is he picks a human being playing a character most of the time. Eddie Murphy is an exception because Eddie Murphy was being Eddie Murphy on stage. And what he does is builds what he calls a button off of that. And a button is a thing that when we play it for him, gets his...
It centers me. It brings me back to the character. Yeah. Like, this is how I do the character. This is how we're doing this right here.
And the crazy thing about that is sometimes the button is wholly removed from what the actual voice sounds like, but it is the pathway where Scott gets into the frame of mind where he can be that voice. So I can go on and talk about the guesses, right?
Yeah, so we're going to talk about, first of all, A put her own money, which is, of course, our money, common law, California. Should talk to me first, but she put her own.
We have a deal. If it's under $200, I don't have to ask.
Her own money
For
up.
business. For
business. Put her own money up. And Stephen Travis says, what centers you for John Tweedy? Scotch? Yes. She put her own money up, offered it to you guys if you figure out who the character was based on. This is fun because my impression of an actor or actress or character is usually way off base from what that person actually sounds like. But again, it's the button. It gives me that center point on which to base a character. So it's not easy to win Baby's money. Baby, who were the top three guesses?
I have money to give to one human being.
Somebody got it?
Nope. But they got so close.
I don't think you get money for close.
Maybe you get $75 for close. I mean, wouldn't it be a nicer place if you get prices for close?
I will be the final judge of this, but I'm leaving it open. Let's go.
Wouldn't the earth be better if...
Who was number 3? Petri Everett was not Aubrey Plaza. So but we had 3 primary guesses. A star with who they are.
So, no holds barred, 100%. Everybody guessed Sigourney Weaver as Ripley. Everybody.
You know what? And I think that's a very good guess. I hadn't seen that till they mentioned it to me, but that is a very solid
Thank you,
guess.
Reagan. Yes, it's my money. And I can send it if I want to.
It's company money, Reagan, goddammit.
It isn't. That's my paycheck money. It's out of my bank account.
All right, that's fine.
So, no holds barred, Sigourney Weaver, the very favorite choice, specifically as Ripley. There was one vote.
Which is, that's pretty good. It's pretty close.
And there was one vote.
Which
was Sigourney Weaver as Dana.
Was who?
Sigourney Weaver as Dana.
Oh, Zool? Oh, Zuli, you nut. I like my girlfriend because she sleeps above the covers. 6 feet above the covers.
Exactly.
Yep.
Listen, here's the other thing.
That's two, right?
That's the first one. Sigourney Weaver as Ripley.
Okay.
No holds barred, the most famous.
Thank you, Scooby.
Or the most favorite guess. Second, quite a lot of you, but far less by an exponential amount, guessed Miranda Priestley. Sigourney Weaver, Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada.
Who's Miranda Priestley? That's her character?
Yes.
Ooh, that's a good, we're going to have to steal that one. She's a good character. I'm going to put that, that's going to be a button in the future for sure.
It's interesting.
Steve, Iceberg, write that down.
Because in reality, the third guess, which only had 3 votes, but it had 3 votes,
all right,
was Mae West.
Haven't I done Mae West? I think I already did Mae West for a character. Not for Fanaka, but I think I did a character.
I know. It's super interesting because what I can tell you is this.
I think in the Wreath I have a Mae West.
I think you do too.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, baby.
So here's what I can tell you. Those were the most popular guesses. And again, Mae West only had 3 votes. So it was Mae West, Meryl Streep, and Sigourney Weaver, which is great. Those are all terrific actors.
Now we're introducing a fun segment, which is... Now, ding, 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 ding. The money round is over, ladies and gentlemen. The money round is over. You can't win based on these clues, but A is now going to offer you clues as to who the voice is based on. I think this is a great bit. I love this bit.
But
this is a fun bit.
Should I give a couple more only singular guesses that I thought were great?
Let's go. Make it quick, but
So we also got this. We also got Emma Stone in Zombieland, which I love. That's a great guess. Vivian Leigh as Scarlett O'Hara. That's a gorgeous guess because that's so proscribed. Almost assuredly, that's like, and after all, tomorrow is another day. It's almost assuredly just that line in Gone with the Wind, which is beautiful because it was before method acting. So, after all, tomorrow's another day, which is not bad.
Okay.
Also, Daryl Hannah as Nurse L in Kill Bill. Also gorgeous choice, Shelba. Thank you so much. That's gorgeous.
Love that role. We got to do Rob Otto. We got to do Kill Bill. Let's go.
But here we go. I'm going to give you hints.
Here we go.
They are going to be difficult to understand. The first thing I will tell you is this actor is a Yale University Drama School graduate.
Ooh, that narrows it down.
It kind of does.
Watch, Rob and Howard right now are like in their head. Movie experts. Tracy, you get no close up.
I will also say this actor played the matriarch of an enormously popular musical family in a TV series. Short series.
Okay.
We still haven't
That's
gotten
true.
any of these guesses.
You guys are allowed allowed to put your guesses in the chat room. You just can't win any money. Go ahead, baby.
Jared, we did get a vote for Jodie Starling or Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling.
Okay.
Not true.
Dr. Lecter.
Here's my last
Dr.
one.
Lecter. Dr. Lecter. Yeah. Not Catherine
This
Hepburn.
one, this particular actor knows what love has to do with it, you guys.
What's love got to do?
Got to do with it.
What's love but a second-hand emotion?
Can I tell him?
No. We're
We're
going
gonna
to reveal
add
it with video.
We are, because we fucking should, you
Oh,
guys.
snap. You just got fined, I'm sure.
Oh,
Hold on.
that's okay.
I am very confused. Easy on the desk
Ooh,
there.
dude,
I'm hitting it too.
Sean
I'm hitting it
Dyer,
too.
Florence Henderson makes me super happy.
Okay, guys, here we go. First, we're going to play some Fanaka now. Someone in the chat room got it. I'm going to play Fanaka, and I'm going to watch the monitor over here, make sure I got the audio right. An orphaner bullet. You still have that ridiculous gun and that amazing void cloak? Sorry. Liar, Fanaka said. Like you would ever part with those. You didn't just place the bullet, she said. You said a prayer. It was nice. Observing your own fake grave is a little much, Killian said. Even for you. It's always good to know who your true friends are. And to learn who wants to piss on your grave. It's a good line. Literally. That's a Hutch line. Killian grunted. Someone did that. Considering all the sentience we swindled, abandoned, and killed back in the day, are you surprised? I'm still with the guild, killer, Fanaka said. There we go. That is it. All right, now we'll go back to the pretty camera, aka the A camera.
You guys are definitely getting it. But what's beautiful about this, and what we'll talk about after this next clip, is one, there is one guest that I'm absolutely paying out, which wasn't Angela Bassett. But
Okay.
two, I'll tell you why this is so great. Let's play the clip.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to reveal the character, the actor in question. Character actor are combined here is none other than Angela Bassett, who has done so many wonderful, famous things. We're going to play a clip from Angela now, but we're going to do it we're going to play it, then stop, play it, then stop, so that we don't get red flagged by the YouTubes. Let's go ahead and call it up. I think, here we go. Here we go.
House, not playhouse.
What's that supposed to mean?
What you think it means. She made you hard. You went soft.
You went soft. We're just pausing it.
She made you hard.
So this is what I would listen to literally thousands of times. Every time the character came on, I'm like, baby, could you play that clip again?
You in love with that sorry
What's up, Chris?
bullshit. Bullshit. is
Hey,
right.
Christmas
You supposed to be
White.
ridding me of my enemies. Instead, they're mouthier than ever. Showing up on my doorstep. Disrespecting me.
Disrespecting me. So good.
Digging up my enemies. When I plant a fat ass cracker bitch, I expect her to stay planted.
Okay, first of all, let's talk about the writing for just a second. When I plant a fat ass cracker bitch, I expect her to stay planted, not to sprout up like ragweed.
Not come back up like goddamn ragweed. Let's be on the
I also expect if I'm planted, I won't come up as ragweed. I want to just be planted, you guys.
No, Sean, none of this is finable because it's on YouTube. Therefore, it's all free. So,
Oh, fine, Angela Bassett, all you like. Or whoever.
Who messed you? That desecrated you.
okay, and she goes a little bit off in a different territory here, which I didn't use for the character. But this, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have this. I had it queued up. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Let's try this.
All right, you all go home too. I'll finish this one myself.
So have you owned this place long?
What do you think?
That's the kind of stuff we look for a character. We come up with, what do you think? It's just finding people with a slightly different speech pattern, something that they do that is unique. Then when you hear it, like, snap, is that Angela Bassett? And then you've got what you need.
They say good black don't crack. They're not wrong. What's your secret?
What's yours? Your manicure costs more than my rent. Woman like you wipes her ass with diamonds. She don't just end up walking in here for hair extension.
So you've got, with Angela Bassett, you've got, let's just randomly extend vowels. So
Well, and that's Chris McWhite just mentioned it.
Yeah.
Is it okay to talk about how it started?
yeah,
Okay, so how it started is there's a specific scene, and you guys all know it, in Waiting to Exhale, which I thought was in How Stella Got Her Groove Back, but it was not, where Angela Bassett is done with her man and her marriage and her business and all the things, and piles all of the stuff in her man's walk-in closet into his car and lights everything on fire. You've seen it. You know it. If you haven't seen it, you've seen her walking away with the fire behind her going. But that's the scene I thought of. And I was like, what about this fierce, proud, useful woman? Like, she knows she did all the things.
yeah.
And he was like, cool, bring that up. Yeah, no, that's not quite the character, but that's sort of the voice. And then American Horror Story becomes this version of this human who has lived through things. And of course, Scott is male and Angela Bassett is not. And so he has to figure out how to make his female voice without having Angela Bassett's parts. And so it becomes a little less throaty, a little higher in the register, but it's still, that sass or whatever.
Yep.
And then we dial it in. And then we make the button, and the button is American Horror Story, and then we can call it back whenever. But it's weird because if you watch American Horror Story...
Real quick. Kurt in the chat room is saying there was no volume on the YouTube. Were the rest of you guys hearing it okay? Let's go back to this real quick. Just to stay on... here we go. Let's make sure I got this covered. This was blasting for us.
Aren't you perceptive?
You know exactly who I am and what I'm capable of. Just like I know exactly what you are.
Good. We're good.
I can smell the...
Witch. So if you guys have not listened to the Stone Wolves, now when you listen to Stone Wolves, I think you'll hear that my template of her cadence. I take a template of her cadence. Let's extend the values. Let's extend the vowels. Excuse me. So we extend extend the what's the word I'm looking for?
The volume.
No, not the volume. The vowels. Extend the vowels, and then just get a random every now and then random spike. But this is the fun stuff. This is how A and I do it. A will sit there and replay stuff and like, no, do it again. I'll say, baby, give me a take, and she'll do her impression of Angela Bassett, which is much better than my impression. But her impression bounces me to come up with something that I haven't done before. So that's what we're after.
So what I will say is this, and then we'll move on from
No,
this
but
segment
we're going to play
for
one
now.
more segment because a lot of them didn't hear the audio. So we'll do one more.
Stink of it on you.
Well, I didn't expect you to like kind Chuba. She couldn't tell a love potion from a rest.
Before that, she came from a great tribe, the Arawak. She learned the secrets of the other side from a 2,000-year-old line of shamans, necromancy.
That going from that low throat rumble all down to suddenly a whisper, but it's exactly the same volume. Some of that sound editing by the editors, but that's the acting.
She gave it to your girls of Salem. A gift repaid with betrayal.
Please, you want to take...
That's all we'll do. Otherwise, we're going to get booted. But she's fantastic, and this is, in summary, we're going to do this again next week. Baby, pick another character that we should do next week. Well, you had more to go with her?
I did.
Okay, go ahead.
So I just wanted to say this. I had a lot of guesses, and there was Mae West, there were many Sigourney Weaver, many. There was Emma Stone, there was Vivian Leigh, there was Dale Hara, there was Meryl Streep, there was did I do Jodie Foster? There was Jodie Foster.
Mm-hmm.
There was one vote for a person of color, and that was Pam Grier in Jackie Brown.
Okay.
And Sean Dyer guessed that. And I went and watched it. And I'm giving him $100.
You said 75.
Okay, fine. I'll give you $100. Well, who cares? It's just money. Who cares? Who cares? Here's my thing.
How am I going to pay for my Skittles, dog? What's
It's
up?
my money. It's still my money. But here's the thing. This very day is the second day of Black History Month in the United States of America.
I did not know that.
And Black History Month in the United States of America is kind of a good and new-ish thing that we need to get better at.
All right.
And I need to say, we had one guess for literally like the physicality that might make that happen. And then I watched every character recommendation. I went and found clips and watched them if I could. Pam Grier is not only the closest, she was the only person who had the right like physicality to maybe make that.
Very similar.
And I think we need to kind of recognize that we all sort of see our own experience, and so think from our own experience. And Sean Dyer, I'm sending you $100 from my PayPal account because you thought outside your experience a little bit and was like, wait a minute, who does this sound like? It's not who's, and I don't think that's I mean, it's a bias, but I don't think it's on purpose. I think we just, we look at Scott and we do that thing. So I was so pleased because when I watched it.
I do not look very black. This is true. I do not look very, a little.
Right. And don't you, Shelba, don't you hear now? Like you hear Jackie Brown because that's the same intonation. It's just not it's not the same character and it's not the same human, but it is some of that. So I'm honoring that.
Ludicrous.
I'm absolutely honoring that.
Friggin' good. You can't look away from her. When she's on the screen, you're like, she's got you.
She was
incredible.
Tina Turner. She was the queen of Wakanda. Come on.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
She was in Boys in the Book.
Right.
Come on. We can do this.
She is a legend. Straight legend.
She played Malcolm X's spouse twice in 2 different movies and Rosa Parks.
Our little puppy's getting upset because we're so excited about it.
Oh, we are. Yeah. So you guys, back when we weren't dating or married and we fought a lot about work, our dogs got to hear it. So now when we fight even about dinner, they're like, are you guys
They head for the hills. They're out of here. As you can imagine, the two of us are not quiet people. And when we fight, it's not a quiet, calm discussion of intellectual levels and the deep analysis of subtext. That is not how A and I fight. It is more like you can imagine, like minor league hockey fight. But without any the hitting is just like the intensity.
Red ice!
Yeah, it's red ice all over the place.
Oh.
Let's go back to books. Hold on, I gotta figure out how to do this. 1 second, baby. Give me a second. We'll turn that off. Babies, we gotta talk about books. Guys, here we go. Stone Wolves episode 19 is up.
Hey,
the episode
Jen Lundy.
Scream is up. Hello, Jen Lundy. Stone Wolves episode 8. We got all this stuff over at ScottSigler.com. It's all free. Go to ScottSigler.com/subscribe. Please don't forget to go to ScottSigler/subscribe. And of course, our new text business. If you want to get regular text alerts, many of you are in here right now because you got a text alert this morning. Text SIGTEXT to 855-955-5905. That is SIGTEXT to 855-955-5095. And you guys will get some great stuff. But the other thing we're going to talk about, since we got the book tab up, is, let's get into the business here. First of all, I did a search here I'm going to fix this while we talk. So I do a search for the Stone Wolves.
Oh my.
Hold on. Yeah, I know, right? That's what I'm talking about.
Oh my. What is happening?
I would like to complain for a moment, you guys. Here I am, an erudite, intellectual, literary influence upon the youth of America. Even the youths who are named Scott Sigler, that is not the point. He is still a youth of America, and I influence the youth of America. And I search for my highly intelligent business on the screen, and I see, of course, my novel, The Stone Wolves, come up. But what else comes up?
Sir.
Puck Me Secretly. You guys, this is what happens when you search for my book.
Is this like a hockey werewolf?
It's a hockey werewolf erotica romance. Puck Me
Wait, you guys.
Secretly. And then, of course, Home Game, which we can, of course, imply some kind of sexy business going on. But then we come up with High Risk Rookie, which shows up when you search for my gosh darn book, The Rookie. But, of course, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Vancouver Wolves hockey romance, The Penalty Box.
I don't want to know.
Steven.
But I do want to know.
You're in trouble, Steven. And it's not going to go away this time with a warning.
You need to go.
Steven, get in the penalty box.
Oh, you guys, that's so terrible. So terrible. Oh, Lord. Lord.
This is one of those things like, I'm sort of
I
glad.
wasn't ready. He
I'm
didn't tell
glad
me
my
about
career.
this.
I'm glad my career is sort of set on an
Werewolf
even
at the
keel.
zoo?
Werewolf at the Zoo.
No hope in the lycanthrope.
Oh my God. You know what? I don't read this stuff, but I have to admit, unexpected coupling.
I
This has
definitely
happened
need
to
a
me a few
week off,
times.
you guys.
I've had a few unexpected couplings here and there. over
Stephen
the-
King is uncomfortable. I understand.
Yes. All right. So, but anyways, now that we've talked about Fanaka, now I'll put on my marketing hat. Here we are with the Stone Wolves. We're still at 281 ratings over on Audible. If you have consumed this book on Audible, please take a moment, go give us a review. I would prefer it be 5 stars, but I'll also take 4. I'll take that. But we need this stuff trips algorithms. This is
Hey,
what
boss.
exposes us to new listeners, new readers, and hopefully they're not listening to get in the penalty box, Stephen. Get in the penalty box.
Sort of depends on what happens in the penalty box.
I'm just
With a hockey werewolf.
friggin' delighted with hockey werewolf erotica.
I'm showing you my
Did you just go to
notepad.
show your
My notepad.
Oh my God, baby! No, we're not doing that tonight. We're not
I mean,
doing that
maybe
tonight.
for the werewolf.
Let's get an update. Let's go back to. I think I take this off here. I don't know how to get. Hold on, guys. I got some other stuff to show you. Let's talk about where we are on GFL Book 7. GFL Book 7, we are 89% complete. I know I've been here twice before on Sigler-in-Place. However,
It
we had
happens
to
that way.
increase. Yeah, it does. We had to increase the word count. We think it'll be 162.5. I'm already assuming it's probably going to be 170, which I didn't want, which is why I split the books in the first place. But this is where we are right now. I believe I will be done with this on February 11th, shortly before A and I take the first trip we've
Hey,
taken
Neil,
in 3
nice
years.
to see you.
And we are going to see Coach and Ma.
Yeah, so we have been pretty much staying home in 2022 the whole time, so that we can go on Valentine's Day and see Scott's folks. And as an indicator, we haven't seen Scott's folks since we were engaged. And I know we only spent a month engaged, but they've never seen us since we're married. Things like that. So
Hello, Neil. I believe that Steve Rickeberg has made the most prescient point of the evening. Let's go back to this.
it's a very good point,
This is
Steve
a very good point,
Rickeberg.
Steve Rickeberg. I'm not trying to shame anyone. I'm not trying to belittle anyone. I'm not trying to be that guy. However, I would like to point out that the Stone Wolves has 281 reviews on Audible, and Puck Me Secretly has 340. You guys, I'm getting out-reviewed by a book called Puck Me Secretly.
And I'm not saying I don't want to read it, but I do want it to have
This
less
isn't
reviews.
on me. This is on you. This is on all of you. If you're in Sigler Junkies, go post this. Now I'm just a small town pizza werewolf erotica writer, but I will say that this is against the grain of the impetus of the plan that we have. It's pretty embarrassing. It's pretty embarrassing. I'm not. It's actually.
We're gonna be fine.
Kudos to the other authors. A little embarrassing.
They've also been out a couple of years more.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
However, we now got to talk about Siglebrations. We have great Siglebrations. Baby, why don't you start with this one, and then we'll go to this one next, and I'll tell a story.
No problem. So we only have a couple of Siglebrations without photos today, and we only have actually a couple Siglebrations with photos and dog pics too. So if you want pet pics or your pics, please send them. info@emptyset. Look, I did that just perfectly without
Well
even
done,
having
baby.
to- Send them in. We're out. I have like embarrassing childhood photos, but and I can do that again, but we've been out of that bit for a while, so I'd love to kludge that back in. Anyway, send your photos of your dogs and yourselves and your cats and your rodents and all that stuff to us at info@emptyset.com. That said, today is Karen McDonald's birthday, and we met her in Phoenix. She's a terrific reader. She's a lovely human being. She's just so graceful and good. Happy birthday to
She's
you. I hope you have I hope you have a terrific day. And
go ahead, say his birthday.
we
it is.
also, you guys, Coach of the Buddha City Elite or owner,
Oh, I forgot about that. You're right.
Gary Lindros.
Okay, now it's time to tell a Gary Lindros story. I mean, I've been embarrassed to tell the story for a long time.
It's so good.
If you were to meet Gary, you would assume that's a nice guy. That's a pleasant human being. That's a person it would be great to get a beer with, but not, we're not going to do a 6-pack at the bar because then you might start spewing vitriol about various things. And you look at Gary Gary's not the kind of guy who wants to listen to me spew about the world's
Assuredly
problems.
not. A
right?
beautiful wonderful
Gary's good
family
people.
man, good people.
Gary's good people. So A and I are on our first tour together, the rookie tour.
We're in Florida.
And we're talking. At first, I call, it's a longer story. We've talked about it before. I won't go back to it, but I call A. I'm like, hey, I'm putting out this book, The Rookie. Would you like to help? She says, what are you talking about? I don't know anything about publishing. I go, yes, but you're very smart and you solve problems. And
Universal company.
I think this would work out. And she says, I think I'll do it. So we put out the book. We put out the book. Many of you have it. It was a lot of fun. We didn't know what we were doing. We did a terrible job. We got the book out, but it was great. But then we go on tour. And A's ex-husband, Peter, was a musician. And A had booked tours for him before. And A booked tours for Adam Savage. She knows what she's doing. She says, here's what I think we should do. She says to me, I think we should do Henry Rollins and get in the van and go. And we did, was it 24 cities in 26 days?
No, 27 cities in 24 days.
27 cities in 24 days.
Reverse that.
Damn.
24 cities in 27 days.
24 cities in 27 days. We did a straight up punk rock, get in the van tour. And there was not a lot of sleep. There was a lot of eating in the van. It was one of the best times I've ever had in my entire friggin' life. It was so much fun.
Me too.
So much fun.
Can I say one thing before you
Yes.
continue? It was the craziest thing because we know each other super well right now, as you might imagine. Back in the day when we were doing this, I would drive most of the day and he would sleep most of the day. And then we would get to a tour stop and he would go to work and I would sit all the way across the restaurant and have some dinner and answer some emails and do some work and let him have his moment. So even on the Rookie Tailgate Tour, most of those folks I met, but then I just went and did my own thing, so I didn't even know them. He was carrying it all on his own, and then we'd just catch up for the hour before he fell asleep in the car. How'd that go? Listen, there was somebody who had a problem with their book or something. I don't, whatever. And then he would fall asleep. So it was crazy times.
So there's very little sleep. There's a lot of driving, sleeping in the car, eating little sandwiches in the car because you can't go to the restaurant for 24 days in a row. That's too much money. We were very poor back then. We're selling merch. We're selling T-shirts. We're selling books. We literally had the car packed full of books.
One T-shirt, one book.
So this is old school punk rock. And by the 14th show, we start to look like we're crack dealers because we got a stack of cash. We got this many ones. We got some tens, bunch fives, couple of hundos in there. We've got a wad of cash, and I get very nervous about carrying a lot of cash.
Couple things to note here. One, at this point, I just mentioned, we don't know each other like we know each other now. So the only right thing to do, everything about the rookie belongs to Scott. We have a handshake agreement. So he takes all the money to his room at night and puts it in the safe in his room. And my only job was making sure that the hotel had a safe.
Okay.
But I'll also say this. Nope, I lost it. Oh, Neil Ashelman. He's in the chat room tonight, and he was essential in helping us with the tour, too.
So we're on tour, and we go to somewhere in Florida, wherever Gary is from. I don't remember. We're on tour, and halfway through the tour, completely shot out, surviving on chocodiles and mini bagel sandwiches and Bud Light. And a couple of shots to walk, but not too many. And every night, I take the giant wad of cash from A, I put it in the hotel safe, do the show, get the next morning, take out the giant wad of cash, and we're very old. This is so long ago, we're not even sure we have time or want to go to a branch of some bank and put it in the bank. Plus, we need change. We've got this giant wad of cash we're carrying with us, and then we leave Gary Lindress's town. And we're I think 6 hours away, and we're getting gas.
We're almost to Baton Rouge.
With another show scheduled, and I realize that I left the money in the safe and forgot to bring the giant wad of cash
in
with
like
us.
a Motel 6 or a Holiday Inn, like a cheap low-end motel.
In a cheap low-end motel, I left well over $1,000 worth of cash.
Oh, yeah.
Which was
almost
a lot
$5,000.
$5,000 worth of cash. And I left it in the hotel safe. And I realize that the people who clean hotel rooms are not making a ton of money. And if you happen to come across $5,000 that some jabroni left in the safe, it might be beyond your realm of resisting temptation to go like, holy crap, I am taking that because it's friggin' Christmas. So we know we would love to think that if somebody found it, they would turn it into management. Management would call us, but there's hands dipping the toe all over the place. But I will say this. This is what I did with all of my worldly knowledge, all of my suavosity, all of my ability to roll with any situation.
Shakespeare made up words. Why not?
Here's what I did. I straight panicked. I straight
100%
panicked. We're driving in the car.
100%.
A's driving, and I'm like, I'm nodding off because I'm not sleeping. I'm like, I got $5,000 in this shit in the safe in the hotel, and
grabbed the window,
and then because I'm with the problem solver, I turn to the problem solver and say, "Can you fix this? What are we gonna do?"
So okay,
Winston Wolfe is like, I don't know what to do.
how do you forget $5,000? Like
$5,000
what?
in the safe. I left it.
And not only that was so much money we needed to pay those.
We
bills
were
for
still
that
paying
book.
off the printing costs of the book. We had nothing. We had nothing.
So here's what actually happens. Gary Lindros, whose
Was
birthday is today.
met us in that town.
Yeah, well,
came to the event in that town.
He was at the event the night before, and he had sent, because he's a beautiful human being who understands how society works and families work and fun works, and he sent an email saying, "Hey, you guys, that was so cool. Thank you so much." I've been such a big fan of podcast fiction. I'm such a big fan of all these things. I'm part of the this school on the in the social medias of the thing, and I really appreciate it. And it thank you so much. And we were like, oh my god, can you please, a perfect stranger?
Yeah, we didn't know Gary for shit. Didn't know. I'll take the fine. Didn't know him for shit.
Did without any relationship to us at all. Can you go and try to convince the front desk clerk and the manager at the Motel 6 to give you $5,000 from a locked safe in someone else's room?
Gary was a part of the room. We had never talked to the hotel about Gary. We, of course, called the hotel
There's a gentleman named Gary Lindros who's going to be coming to your facility. He's going to be asking for a very large amount of cash. I think that you should give him said amount of cash.
But he wasn't,
one of the things that the hotel, and Mike Weirs, you said the right thing. It's absolutely a Frederico moment.
It is, Mike. You're right. Frederico
because
moment.
Gary shows up. I call the hotel and I say, this is happening. They're like, he's going to have. Does he have a passport? Does he have all the things?
Gary leaves his work.
Yeah,
Gary leaves his work to help us out.
He does.
And I'm assuming at this point, we'll continue the story, but I'm assuming that Gary's like that nice guy I told you about that you want to have 2 beers with, but not 6 because you might say something offensive. I'm assuming that Gary goes home, gets his Glock in the back belt holster, puts it back there, puts on a black tie.
Mason's though.
Puts on a black tie, sunglasses, not mirror shades, not dark black, but slightly see-through. And then Gary goes to the front desk and is all like this.
My name is Gary. I'm here to pick up some money for Scott Sigler and A. Kovacs. Do you have the money that they told me that you would have for me?
That's what I think he did.
Because if you do not, I want you to know.
I have a very particular set of skills.
Yes, that's exactly. So here's what
skills
happens.
that I've acquired over a long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for hotel managers like you.
And here's what actually happens. So I call the hotel. Well, we call Gary and ask him to do this. And he's like, bros, whatever you need. Like, of course. And we're like, okay, but bro.
We didn't know the guy. He took off work to go save us, get our money.
And then I call the hotel and do the same thing. And they're like, all right, so we have, he's going to have to show up with an ID. If he can bring 2 IDs, does he have a passport? Can he do that? And I'm like, I have no idea if he has a passport. What? I know he has a driver's license because he's leaving work to drive to you. So I assume he's a driver's license. And they were like, okay, can you give him a safe word? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can do that.
I don't know you that well, hotel manager. I can't tell you my safe word.
Right? Like, I don't know. I think I
No,
can
boss,
tell
he
him
did
to
not get a
say
cut.
strawberry. But, will he say strawberry? Will he know that? And she was like, well, okay, that's fine. Just have him come in. I'm like, you thought of a safe word and then just abandoned the safe word idea?
So, of course, the vast majority of people in this world are genuinely good people. You find a big chunk of cash, if you're not this guy, you're not this girl, that's cool. The vast majority of people are like, oh, snap. This must be a lot of money to the person who left this in this place.
Yeah.
I need to see what I can do to find this person and give them the money back because it's their money. This is the natural reaction of most people. However, we have
Pumpkin and bicycle
the
are
person-
both good.
the person who's cleaning the room, the hotel person, the manager of the hotel, Gary himself. All of these people got involved. All these people helped us out. And also, yes, Boz, I did offer Gary a cut. I said, you should get a 5% VIG out of this. He said, no, thank you. And he gave us the whole bunch of money. How do we get it? He mailed it to us? Did he mail it to us?
He did. He mailed. No, he
mailed
put
the check.
He went to, at the time, we weren't even a business at the time. And Scott's business account was at Wells Fargo. And so Gary actually got the cash and said, here's how much it is. And I was like, all right, close enough. We haven't even, because what happens at the end of the night is I give it to Scott and he puts it in his safe in his room because it's his money.
Yes.
And so
And I never forget anything.
And I
ever,
just
ever.
mentioned to you guys, this is back in 2009, so we don't know each other as well as we know each other now, and I thought that was fine. And also, so I just mentioned to you guys earlier that when we got to the venue, I would set him up, have him do his thing, and go somewhere else until the sales started, right? And then when the sales happened, I would go back and he could hang out and drink with people because I had to drive the next day. So I had to be not staying up till 2 a.m. partying. And so I wasn't even able to say, Gary was like, here's exactly the money. Here's a
Gary
photo
was
of
such a
all
pimp.
the dollar amounts in all the currencies in their amounts. And I was like, great.
I would like, we're going to finish this bit up. I would like Chris Grawl, Mr. Happy, small unit tactics, military hardware consultant to the Siglerverse. Chris Grawl, based on what you've heard, I believe that you have to define what firearm Gary might have had in that back holster when he put on the white shirt, the black tie, and the slightly see-through sunglasses. We'll leave that up to Chris Grawl. We are we've run out of time. Maybe should we continue?
Yeah,
we'll do puppies and peck picks.
Yeah,
next
why don't
week.
why don't we actually do that? Because the junkie picks, I will encourage you guys. I have some older ones, but send in some new ones. They were all sort of old Siglerfest things, so we don't have to show the junkie picks because they're not new ones from you guys.
So
but
we'll keep
pup
the
dates
junkie
and
picks.
pet picks.
We'll do pup dates and pet picks, and then we'll be out of here, out of this business. Let's go ahead and go to pup dates, and boom, boom. If you look in the bottom right corner, ladies and gentlemen, you see
that's from
my
a gangster.
awesome wife, and also who is that, baby?
That's Stella Bellaboo. That's the little bitty pitty. If you are on Facebook and you
It's
love
an
us,
itty bitty pitty.
it's little bitty.
Little
pitty.
bitty pitty. Okay, okay.
And if you follow Little Bitty Pitty, you will see Stella. Stella, we just got Stella's DNA back, her DNA stuff, which was a Christmas gift. She's mostly staffy and
What is a
Chihuahua.
staffy?
You like a pit bull, a staffy is
Staffordshire Terrier.
Yeah, it's like an American Staffordshire Terrier. It's a pit bull. A Pibble. Sorry. Pibble is all of those together. And she's mostly that and Chihuahua, which you can tell by looking at her, which is kind of awesome. It's pretty fun.
Yep.
So that's us recording the
Can we
gangster.
get a Grawl? Wait. Chris Grawl says Gary was totally rocking a stainless steel 357, which would stand out on Gary because Gary's not the biggest guy in the world, but that
He's
would be
a pretty
very
big guy,
apparent.
but he's not a big. Like he's not a super. Yeah,
You'd notice a 357.
you
on
would.
that
Yeah,
thing.
well, for sure.
Let's take a look at
Not
our.
anybody.
So once again, thank you, Gary. You are the bomb. This company would not exist without you, frankly, because that would have been
And
like,
every
I give
time we
up.
tell
I
this
give up.
story, every time, if you know Gary, you know this. Every time we tell this story and Gary is physically there, he does this. Like,
And
fine. I didn't do it. It's fine.
Robin Taylor need to email info@emptyset. We have a question for you. All right, now.
Okay.
Big pup pick, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh.
If you look at the picture in the bottom right, as you can see that Stella Bellaboo is dressed up in a dog sweater to keep her
Yeah,
warm because
she
this is the winter in our basement in the church that was the...
No, this is the garage. This is last year. This
that's
is
the garage?
gangster. Yeah.
And A has a full body onesie on
I do.
to stay warm. And if you look, I went with a cold theme today. On the left is Squeaky, also in a full body onesie,
And
who
a
got up out of her bed and decided that she was the hardest working dog in show business.
She absolutely chose
and
violence that day.
She dragged her cape along with her to show that she was listening to little James Brown and getting her
was.
good foot on and walking along.
Watch yourself.
Watch yourself. She was dragging her cape and just putting in the work.
Mm-hmm.
Never not working. Squeaky was James Brown. Those are our main pictures for today. All right, baby. I think we're done.
So we're at 7:02. We went a little bit long because we had a handful of stories to tell. I hope that's okay with you guys. We do have junkie picks next week, but send in anything you want to celebrate. Remember, we also benefit from celebrating whatever's going on in your life, just like you do. We can talk about us until the cows come home, but we know us. We'd rather celebrate, your favorite your favorite plant just sprouted new buds, whatever. I don't care.
We have many leather bound books. We'll do.
We do.
You know what? Reagan asked for a couple. We'll do 2 questions. Let's do 2 questions because I prepared a questions GIF, and I feel that this is I would like to show off.
I would
my
like to say
preparation.
that my brother Jude, who is obviously in the chat room, he was driving for work. He lives in New York. He had to drive to Philadelphia for work, and he was like, "Here's my thing. I'm leaving right now, so that I get to my hotel room before SIGLERinPLACE is over." And he did it. So I love you for that. Thank you for that.
All right. So we're gonna go to the chat. We're gonna go to questions. We're gonna do 2 questions, and I know that people, of course, have been very, very lonely for the questions. Jay Freak, Guide Doggies, Drags, yeah, exactly. Here we go. Let's go to questions. And because people are missing
Mary
the
Garrett,
singing,
that's a huge thing. We were not able to complete dry January. We went drier January.
we went drier January, Mary, but congratulations, wonderful.
It's huge.
Jen,
It's always good to check in.
Jen, when your quarterback leaves your franchise, we're here for you, Bubba. We're here. All right, let's go back to Maine, and I'm going to switch cameras because it's time to do a little singing. I don't remember what this chat GIF is. Let's take a look.
Okay.
Mr. Garrison says, now are there any questions? Because it's time for the questions. And let's get into it right now. Why has he got a stick in his hand? That sounds naughty, but it's not. And yet it's South Park, so it is. All right, baby, hit me with 2 questions. Boom, back to me.
Lord's sakes.
Let's hit it. Stick in hand.
Give me a life experience that has influenced your writing the most.
Oh, real quick, question from Mike. Is there a SIGLERinPLACE the week of Valentine's Day? I believe that there will be if we can get Coach and Carol on it. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, this is an important thing. We haven't quite decided. As we said, we are going on Valentine's Day. We are flying to Florida. I think we are bringing. What
if we did a whole Q&A session with nothing but Coach? Q&A with Coach for an hour.
Maybe we'll do office hours with Coach. That might be easier.
That'd be so good.
Because you can't see it, but right down
there's a big
there,
rig.
there's
Yeah,
a rig that has like buttons on it that like Scott can call up graphics and stuff. So it's kind of hard to
Boz,
do a
who's your
SIGLER in place without all that gear. And it's also not smart to
It's not a question, Tracy.
unplug all that gear and bring it to Florida. So maybe we'll do an office hours next week with coaching or
2 weeks.
the 16th. So not next week, but the week
We have
after.
to ask Coach because Coach is crotchety because that's what Siglers do when they get old. They get crotchety. I'm crotchety.
I'm crotchety.
So we're gonna have to ask.
I'm even a
we're
new
gonna have
Sigler.
We have to ask Coach Carol. But guys, let me give you a little advance warning. If we do a Sigler office hours with Coach and Carol, dial down the cursing a little bit and let Coach and Carol do the cursing. Your job is not to curse. That is Carol and Coach's job to curse. And let's keep it clean and non-political and clean. Those are your rules.
Big
But you may non-political. Trust me.
We don't
it's
want
not
that kind
even-
of heat.
It's not even open
don't
jokes.
want that kind of heat.
No joke political comments. No nothing.
But I sort of
You can talk
feel
about
like-
football. You can talk about science fiction movies.
Can we talk about your skinny legs?
We can talk about me in high school. You may talk about all these things, but no political comment.
Metal music is also okay.
ACDC. You can ask is there any ACDC question you want? All right, let's go with 2 questions. Let's get it.
Well, first I'll say, I feel like if Dawn Shipley's birthday is on the 16th, we're going to have to bring the heat.
Okay, bring the heat.
All right, so
We still got a bunch of people in the chat room. Love you guys. You're great. We're going to do 2 questions, and then we're going to let you go. But we've done our hour. So if you've got things to do, go do your things.
So this question I asked, this is actually the second question because you answered the first one, is what life experience has shaped some of your writing the most?
What life experience has shaped some of my writing the most? The cop-out answer is literally everything. At this point in my career, having done a bunch of books and kind of interlaced all of my own personal experiences with the books. At this point, it's largely looking at everything through the lens of, if I see something that I don't recognize or I'm not familiar with, how do I encapsulate that and keep that in my memory and write it down and put it into a book? Because when you've done thousands of characters, which I have done, not just voice, but thousands of written characters, they start to become the same to you.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's always a question. So everything I watch, everything I listen to, everybody I talk to, it's always a constant filtering process. For wouldn't it be fun to have someone who just said that ridiculously bullshit thing in a book? Stuff like that. As far as personal life experiences,
Well, we do see a few personal life experiences.
Oh,
we
God.
have Mr. Business.
Mr. Business,
Was
that's a side story from someone I knew who's telling me a story I didn't experience,
In
but
real
that came
life,
from
yeah.
that. But as far as personal experience right now, I think that having had a positive, relatively positive divorce, and being still very close family and friends with my former, that is kind of a thing that puts a brighter sheen on some of the relationships that you read about in the various books, and you'll see it in the future for sure, because it's a better way to go. But if you read, the stuff between Becca and Quentin from like book 5, 6, I'm not good with time, but as you move forward, the vast majority of Quentin's expression of what he appreciates about Becca and his love for Becca, why he loves Becca, is A. So A is without a doubt in my books in what is the deepest relationship I've written about to date. And I think it's also in a lot of Patrick O'Doyle and Bertha Libran too.
It is.
So there's a lot of that even later in life. The sports stuff, I got down cold. I've done everything you can do in sports when you are a tiny, non-talented, slow person with no coordination.
Who absolutely believes he can beat everything.
I
on
will
earth.
whoop your ass. I'm coming into the ring. I will whoop your ass. So I've done all of that. All of my personal experiences. There'll be more band stuff coming in. But the biggest thing right now, the anchor of all of my work when it comes to emotion is A. And I think I'll also be getting in the near future, getting into a lot of, when your heroes stray from the path that you have projected for them, that they have probably never followed, you just imagined it, and the political differences within my own family, people that I adore and would absolutely take a bullet for in the drop of a hat, watching them come up with worldviews and decisions that are so wildly different from what I thought they were, is something that I'm absolutely going to put into my work because it's friggin' fascinating. It's compelling and gripping and fascinating and gutting and all of the stuff that will let me give you 30 pages of just dialogue with no action, and you won't even know 30 pages has gone by.
So I will say this. I don't mean to put words into Scott's mouth, but I will say it's important to note, it's really important to note that while Scott's writing more character-driven stories now, part of that, for sure, is our relationship, but it's also our relationship at this age and at this age as in his career. And that's important to note because if you're 20, you guys know this. If you've had one marriage, if you've had 16 marriages, if you've had no marriages, you know this. The person you are at 18, the person you are at 25, the person you are at 30, the person you are at 40, that changes how you enter a partnership with anybody for anything. And so I also feel the grace of, and you guys are seeing in Bertha and Patrick and all that stuff, one, that Scott's emotions have changed, and that's wonderful, but also Scott's a better writer, a more mature human being, a more patient human being, a human being who's more in control of his emotions with a person who is more in control of their emotions than they might have been at 20, because trust me, I was a lunatic. So my point is, like, a lot of the grace that you get is about the situation, not, he was the best writer ever before me, and he'll be the best writer ever the rest of his life. But sometimes when you're able to tap into that, and you do it in your own life too, you sort of feel you're a better cook, you're a better painter, you're a better whatever.
You're better at what you do.
Because you feel more at home in your own skin. And I think that's important to note too, because I know and love Jody, and while I love that he thinks his stories are more emotional now because of me, I stand on the shoulders of giants, and I always will.
Yeah,
That's how it
there's
works.
the earlier work, ton of stuff about Jodes in there, and Jodes is awesome, and she's a Packers fan, so I mean,
Yeah, but still, we all
she's
stand.
a Packers fan.
If you are graceful and lucky enough to live to your 50s,
All
you
right.
stand on the shoulders of giants in your former
Chris
life too.
McWhite says considers himself very blessed because he met his wife in high school, took her to prom. Oh, dude,
And she's
come
gorgeous.
on,
She's
you married
wonderful.
your prom date. That's the best thing ever. Ladies and gentlemen, in the chat room, please respond to Mr. Chris McWhite. Took a girl to prom and married her. That's the fairy tale. Congratulations. All right, here we go, baby. One more question, and then we are out. Okay. We are out. Because I got musicking to do because I wrote all goddamn day for you people.
You really did.
All goddamn day.
Can you give a shout out to another author?
Yes, I can. What's going on? We lost. There we go. Our color's going crazy. I don't know. I spend so much time working on this gear, you guys, and it just decides, you know what? Hey, screw you, Scott. We're going to make you all orange now. Hey, now you're all orange. How do you feel? Yeah, one more. Go, baby.
That was it.
A shout out to another author?
Yeah. Can you give another shout out to another author? Can you give a shout out to another?
Is this your phone? Where's my... I need my phone. Hold on.
I don't know where your phone is, honey.
I'm going to... Let's try it again. Here it is. Below the script. Shout out to authors.
Wait, before you do,
I've got
while
a
you're
good
doing
one.
that, Emily McGregor, congratulations to you. That's awesome and sort of amazing. And I would love to have a glass of wine and share that story because, oh my goodness, the first guy you dated, met him at 25 years old. There's so much to unpack there and good for you. Also, Christmas McWhite, you obviously are very lucky because you got to grow with that person who loved you when you were young. And we're both very lucky that our former spouses are
Dude, I'm
friends of
lucky as
ours.
shit. Yeah.
And that's a really big grace. And my high school sweetheart is still a friend of mine as well. And he, every once in a while, will kludge into my life saying, oh, still clumsy? Still friendly? And it's very, very nice. So good for you guys.
Last question. Shout outs to other authors. I went on Reddit today and searched for, is there military SF horror? Because that is what the crypt will be. Military, science fiction, and horror. It's going to be messed up. One of the recommendations that came up was Alistair Reynolds in the Relevation Space. I think it's the Earth series. I'm not sure.
And are you listening to that now?
Yeah, I'm only literally 10 minutes into it, so I can't say for sure. I will say that, gosh darn it. I will say that if you like my stuff, this book, if you like my non-YA stuff, if you like Scott is a potty mouth, curses a lot, I will say The Cruel Stars by John Birmingham. I don't know if you guys read it. It's The Cruel Stars by John Birmingham is the closest I have ever found to hearing something and being like, did I write that? Is this guy right here.
How lovely.
So I will give a shout out to him. I was not crazy about book 2, but book 1 was absolutely lights out. And then the other one, I will call this up since I'm doing this
I was just about
now.
to say,
This is
this the ants?
Yo, dude,
Okay.
this motherfucker right here, dude. Hold on, I gotta get. Oh, this book right here. Gosh darn it! Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not good at this.
The sound. Jesus.
Turn off the sound. You can do that. That's the thing. Children of Time.
Oh, Lord.
Adrian Tchaikovsky, like the guy who writes the music, except this guy does it with words. One guy does it with music, the other guy does it with words. Children of Time, if you are into biology, if you're into hard science, if you are a fan of living creatures and evolution and how things evolve and become and interact, I will put this book up there with Dune. For me, this is an equal, Children of Time is equal to Dune to me, and Dune is the single biggest influence on my work. I don't think Adrian's work will influence my work, but I will say when I listen to it, I'm like, that is a badass motherfucker right there. So those are my shout outs to other authors.
And we're going to go because it's 7:15. We'll be back next week for sure. And I think we are probably going to bring streaming equipment to Florida with us, but we'll make that decision by next week because we also have to figure out if anything has changed about packing.
Mike, email us that story. I'd love to hear about it. Go ahead, babe. Ready?
And I will say, just in case you guys are new here, people who write like Scott writes and who are friends of his and he loves and trusts, Jonathan Mayberry, Pierce Brown, Peter Klein's, a little bit different,
Klein's,
but these are writers who are like wheelhouse writers. They do all the work, and you may really enjoy them. Of course, Nicholas Sansbury Smith, we've talked about a bunch on this show. Christoph Laputka, we have had on this show. There are a handful of writers who are intricate, dedicated writers to the story and the intricacies of the stories that they have.
Good night, Michael.
I'll just do
Good night,
that.
Baker.
So good to see you guys. We'll see you next week. Let's do the closing out.
Let's do our
here.
closing out. Here we go.
actually have a whole plan.
Let's go, baby.
So if you have any questions, if you have photos, if you have things you want to celebrate, info@emptyset.com, wherever that is, please do that. We're pretty much out of like active photos and celebrations, so go ahead and share those with us. Content ideas for Sigler in Place, questions for Sigler in Place, info@emptyset.com.
We'll be back Wednesday, February 5th, 2022, when we celebrate a pizza day.
National Pizza Day.
So I'm gonna have to confer with my north star, my guiding light, my consigliere, as far as what kind of pizza we're gonna have. I would like it if all of you still watching at this point, it's good 50 of you still watching, get some pizza. Join us. Have some pizza. We'll eat pizza on screen because that's how you win Emmys.
And I think we actually celebrated Pizza Day last year, too, because we were doing 2 a weeks. And I told the story of my pizza sauce and the pizza, and I never gave you the recipe. So I'll give it to you next week.
All right.
And until then,
we
still need you to stay safe.
We need you to stay smart.
Smart.
Just stay smart.
We need you to stay science.
And for the love of science, stay informed. It is my deep hope that Omicron has finished its nut.
Perry Davis, nice to see you.
We are now coming down from the Omicron, and we'll get at least like 2 months of partying in, and then we'll get the next one. But for now, stay informed, stay science, stay smart. That's all we got to say. Anything else, baby?
I will say, Sean Dyer, can you please email me your PayPal address?
Giving away my money. Giving away our
My
money.
money.
Yeah, it's California, baby. Sorry.
Have
your
you
money
seen
is
all
our
these
money.
space guitars?
Oh,
That was not bought with my money.
Do you know what? Now I'm going to
That was
sign
bought
off.
with his money.
I'm going to sign up. Ready?
His money. Those guitars.
You can all kiss off in the sky, especially you, Sean. They're goddamn $100.